I'm your boy Idaho,
I'm your boy Juke.
and we about to bring you the hottest talk, 100% raw from around the city. Alright, y'all, we want to welcome y'all to the first episode Off the Bench Last Play. I'm your boy Idaho,
I'm your boy Juke.
and we about to bring you the hottest talk, 100% raw from around the city. Everywhere from basketball to football to entrepreneurs, we're going to talk to them all and find out why they love sports. No matter what the game is, we want to know.
And we also gonna bring in a lot of the people from Cincinnati doing a lot of things inside of Cincinnati. A lot of your local artists, a lot of your financial people, a lot of people that make food, those kinds of things. So nothing is off limits when you come to this podcast.
So I know a lot of people are wondering why Juke and Idaho, two unique names that nobody really knows where they come from. They just continue to call us it because that's just what everybody knows us as. So just so everybody knows, let's clear the air. Idaho. It's a name that was given to me by some of my high school buddies when I moved here from Idaho. And it kind of started off as a joke. Like, you from Idaho? Like, really? You Idaho can't hang in Cincinnati. And from there, I kind of just put it on my back and wore it as armor to kind of show all my guys back there in Idaho and in Boise that no matter where you play, no matter the competition they say you're going against, you can hold your own against anybody if you got the heart, if you got the dedication, the ability. And now, over a decade later, still everywhere I go in the city, they call me Idaho. And if it wasn't for my quarterback, Wandez Brown, and one of my receivers, Isaiah Mincy, the name would have never came. And now it's a legend, myth, whatever you want to call it, is Idaho.
Idaho.
Why Juke though?
Man. It's a little story to that. I got the name Juke when I had first got to college. I played college ball at Morehead State. I was the fourth guy in a room full of teammates, three other teammates, three of my best friends, Mike Jackson, Devontae Hunter, and my boy Desi Banks. Desi Banks is the guy who actually gave me the name Juke because of how I was on the field at practice. And I think one day we was out there, going through team with the offense and defense, and he was like, I made a move on a few guys, made them miss, made them touch earth, and he was like, hey, that boy out there joking. And then since then, I got the nickname Juke, and it's always stuck with me. I don't even think nobody called me by my real name Justin no more. But yeah, it's always been Juke, and then since then it always stuck with me. So everybody always called me Juke, and even to this day, we're playing semi-pro with you, and out here training with a lot of the guys that I train. I'm still out there juking them, so it's like, it's always gonna stick with me. Juke is gonna be forever. So yeah, it's me, Juke.
So, getting that name from somebody that you looked up to, does that carry weight like every time that you're called it, or has there ever been a point where you were like I'm over the Juke phase, like I'm ready to go ahead and let that phase die and move on and just be Justin?
All right. Well, I mean, when you mention it like that, it's like it feel weird when people just call me Justin now. Like, the only people that call me Justin is my mom for the most part. And my dad don't even call me Justin. He'll call me the nickname Chico, like I grew up with. or he'll call me Juke sometimes. But when Desi gave me that name, I never thought of it as it being a nickname, that'll stick with me forever. I just thought it'd be something that he just said for that day in practice. Like we gonna forget about that he even said that. But every day since then, even my teammates started calling me that. So it was just like, hey, there go Juke. Hey, Juke, come on, let's go this way. Let's go that way. Hey, Juke, there go Juke. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So, it was just it's just something that always stuck with me, thanks to him. And now it's just like I feel like it's a household name,
Yeah.
That's how everybody knows you. So when it comes to Idaho, what made Idaho stick? Like what made it your name? What made it your brand?
Man, it's crazy because at first I was like, nah, don't call me that. Like, don't call me that. I mean, we in Cincinnati.
Right.
We in high school. I went to Withrow. So, I didn't go to school with the most mature people.
Right.
we were all young back then. So, just having that name, like, came with its, jokes. And when a lot of people called me, like, I felt like they were, like, looking down on me, like, you from Idaho? Like really? Like
who was you? Like,
a lot of people be like, where's Idaho? Like, what is Idaho? What's in Idaho? Like, ain't that the potato? Like, that's usually, so I kind of just, after a while, I just kind of owned it and was like, I'm going to use this as my slight. Like, I'm going to use this. And it gave me that extra little boost, like, because, like, my brother Terrell, like, I played ball with him back in Idaho, and he could hold his own. He's from Chicago, but grew up in Idaho, and him and Jesse Childs was probably the two people who showed me, like, you could ball.
Right.
And, like, if you don't know Jesse Childs, you gotta check him out. Like, was truly like a mentor. Like, he wore number 2 at Bora High School, where he went to high school in Idaho, where I went. He wore number 2. I came right behind him when he left. I grabbed number 2 because of him. I used to watch his games. He won state in basketball too. He was just like, he was the guy.
He was the man, right?
He was Black Jesus at the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Me and my brother Terrell, we looked up to him. He's like, that's how we want to be. And then he left. So then my brother's turn, Terrell, he was older than me, so it was his turn to step up. And it was like, it was just dope seeing them take on this role, like, of being that guy.
Right.
And Jesse kind of, his dad played in the NBA and everything, so he already had that mentality.
Right.
Like, he was a dog.
Right. Yeah.
And it's the craziest story because I went and watched one of his practices one day when he was at Bora before they won the state championship his senior year. And he gave me a pair of his shoes. They said J Chili on them. I wore them things for probably until he gave them to me my freshman year. I probably wore them until my junior year of high school. I wore them like they was just like that. Like, that's how much of a presence that he had on. Especially black kids in Idaho back in that time. Like, he had that presence on him. And yeah, so once people start calling me Idaho, I'm like, well, I'm gonna do it for them.
Right.
Because, you know what I'm saying, they could hold their own, so why can't I? And now both of those guys are more than successful. One is coaching with the Spurs, I want to say, and the other one's across seas running his own USA basketball camp in Brazil. So that just shows you, like, it doesn't matter where. So I just carry that with me.
Right. So is it safe to say that's where the 2 came from?
Yeah, for sure. Between that, it was like, to be honest, like, I didn't want to wear 2 because that was my grandpa's number. Like, my grandpa would always like 2.
Right.
Like, and so at first I didn't want to wear it. And Jesse had it. I'm like, I'm not about to, I don't want to feel those shoes.
Right,
like, I'm not going to lie. I'm 14, 15 years old. I'm not about to feel
those
shoes.
You thought it was too big.
He had just one state in basketball. I'm a sophomore. I'm like, I'm not trying to feel those shoes. Like, and it just, 3 was, I wanted to get 3. I was a big Iverson fan at the time.
Same here.
I was like, all right, I want to rock with the 3. A senior had a 3, so you know how that go. So 2 was available because everybody else was thinking like I was thinking. Even the older guys like, oh, I can't follow that.
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, I guess it's meant to be. And I got it, and it's funny because I got it, and our colors was gold and green. And I remember like our white jerseys was supposed to be white, but his was gold. I was like, man, like even his jersey gold. Like I got him like everybody else white, his jersey gold. And then after that, I scored a touchdown my first game, and then had a 9-catch, 305 yards, 5 touchdown game in my sophomore year. And after that, the legend just built until what it is now. But in the city now, where do you see sports going now? You have the little league teams that are becoming bigger than ever. You have the high school teams that are winning state now, winning leagues. You have the Bengals going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Of course, the Cincinnati Bucks winning in the semi-pro. So with all the championships coming through the city of Cincinnati, where do we go next? Where do we go next to be able to get the love that Texas, California, Georgia, all these other states get? Where do we go for us to be able to not only get their fan base and stadium sizes and school pride and stuff, where do we go to be able to get the right guys in the room to make those conversations happen?
Well, I think first of all, like you said, it's like we're definitely starting to get the attention, that these other states get, like Texas, Georgia, Florida. But I think it's like more so as like we were always getting our hopes up, for these, not even just the Bengals, but all the hopes up for, any other Cincinnati teams, whether it was Little League, high school football, high school basketball, any high school sport, semi-pro sports. We were all getting the hopes up, for things to turn out great, for things to just pop off, like they would say. But now that we got the confidence, to see that we can actually do it, like these other states and cities have. I think we just need to start like reaching out to the nearby states around us, like Kentucky and Tennessee and Indiana, north up in Michigan, to start competing with some of those, start taking our game to some of those states and show them like, hey, y'all, we can ball with the best of them. Why not travel to some of these places like Texas and Georgia, California? Why not do that? New York.
How can we get the guys inside the city who already pretty much have been through the process and have their own buzz, have their own name? Some of these guys are legends, like you really can DeVere Posey,
Spencer Ware,
Dominique Jordan Hicks. Man, the list goes so far. Darius Ashley, Bud Golden,
baseball player out of Middletown, Kyle Schwarber,
Yancey Gates. Just how do we get all of these guys who's been top prospects, who's been big time players in their cities, Chedrick Cherry, Everett Horn, like these guys, like how do we get these guys to sit down at a table and be like, how do we pass down our knowledge to the next to the next generation, so that way they don't have to bump their heads like we do.
Right.
Like, these next generation of guys in the right room with guys who's bumped their heads and made these mistakes, so that way they don't have to, so that way they can go into college and understand, like, hey, you might become friends with somebody who's gonna be a multimillionaire the next year, but you have to stay focused.
Right.
You have to still do the work for you to be that millionaire and not get caught up in his ways.
Right.
Or how to prepare for the coaches at the next level, where it's more do your job than, hey, no, that ain't right. Let me show you how it's done.
Right. Yeah.
So how do you prepare? How do you get all these guys who's really peaked? Like, I mean, when I say peaked, these guys have really like took it to the next level. Like, no matter NFL, college, high school, these guys were the top of the top.
All right.
I mean, Eugene Clifford. Like, we can literally sit here and off the top of our head, like, dig back on guys who's come out of here. Kyle Rudolph from Elder.
Jordan Cyber.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Kelsey Mitchell.
Kelsey, yeah, like, yeah, Kelsey. You can't forget her.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
Like, you can't. It's like it's so many that doesn't get talked about as much as they should.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of coaches in the city and a lot of these trainers and staff should start not only informing their guys,
All right.
but helping them by putting them at the table with the right guy.
Right. That's why I think that's what needs to happen is like I think even all of them should have a sit down with coaches or people around the city and be like, hey, what can we do to uplift the city? Because like the city, for some reason, it's always like people in the city that don't want to see other people in the city do good things.
Right.
It's like why are we hating on each other in this city? We're like one of the best cities in the United States.
Yeah.
Why not try to uplift the city? Why not try to put back into the city and get some available resources to make these make places better or make people better, make things better in the city. Why not do that? And I think that's what needs to happen is like a lot of these people with these titles and names, they need to sit down with each other and be like, hey, I'm gonna invest this much, or hey, can we go talk to this person and go see this person and talk about how we can add this to this part of the city or add this to this part of the city to give back. I think that's what needs to happen.
Yeah. Not only that, but I feel like we need to get better at paying homage to the people who actually put in work to get to the level they're at. Like, for us to walk around here and be like, hey, you didn't make it to the NFL, so you suck.
Right.
You didn't make the NBA, so you suck. For
Right.
us to like walk around like that and not realize, like, okay, yeah, I didn't make it to the NFL, but shoot, I was best player, ever come out of my high school. That's still good. That's still an achievement.
Right.
That's still, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody has to start somewhere. All these NFL guys were in high school before.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? All these college guys were in high school before. So for you to measure somebody's success off of, okay, yeah, if you make it to the NFL, you're an elite athlete. I'm not gonna lie. If you get a workout with NFL, you're elite. There's nothing about that I'll take away. But what about the guys that get injured and don't get a chance to really shine? Like, imagine Derrick Rose getting hurt in college instead of after his MVP.
All right.
We would have never got to see that fact that he was actually one of the best players to ever play.
Facts.
Before he got hurt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We would have never got to see that because he got hurt. So we'd be sitting here like, oh, he sucks. Now I realize we talking about Derrick Rose. You know what I'm saying?
His finest. Right. Like, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same with every generation. Like I graduated in 2008, so we're like 14 years, almost 15 years after, and man, I go back to my high school and feel like a stranger.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? But then like Dora, which is my high school in Idaho, which I didn't even graduate from, but I own a lot of records there, good memories there, done a lot there. Show me love. Hey, make sure you get some board gear. Come check us out when you're in the city.
Right.
They support everything that I'm doing.
Right.
Show love. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that needs to happen more in our city. Like, there's no way you got these athletes that take you to state and win state, or take you to you know what I'm saying, state for the first, or take you to the playoffs for the first time
Right.
in a long time, or set records at your school that doesn't feel welcome back.
Right.
You
It's
know what I'm
all like, yeah, it should feel like home.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything should feel like home.
There's no way that, now, I'm not saying that every athlete should get the same privileges, because that's just not the way this works.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you have certain people who went above and beyond, and they should, those sideline walkers that you got, those should be those legends.
All right.
Not these guys that graduated 2 years ago that, you know what I'm saying, barely played, but
Right.
because they know the coach, they get to walk the sideline.
Right.
No, those need to be those legends, the ones that help build what you're playing for now.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? That, like, with those fields, we played the first season on that field that got built. When I first got there, it was rocks, there's a track, and a grass field.
All right.
My junior year, right in the middle of my junior year, I got there second semester of my junior year. They ripped all that down, built a brand new field. We played, lost our first game to Sycamore. They had Bud Golden and Stevie Hull.
Stevie Hull.
And out in Overton. They had a nice little squad. They beat us. Like, after that, we wasn't going.
All right.
We won all the rest of the games into the playoffs when we lost, but we built that standard at that field.
All right.
And to go back to that field and look on that field and not see any of those guys that I helped build with, like, that'd be disheartening. Like, even if they're just, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even if they're just there, you know what I'm saying, walking the sideline, or
Right.
standing at the game, or, you know what I'm saying, anything.
Right.
Like, to not see that, like, that's disheartening. Like, you know how much love and how much, like, respect, like, Winton Woods and all them give their players when they come back.
All right.
Like, if you don't think that their star running back from last year, if you don't think that when he comes back after he graduates, he's not gonna be on that sideline, you crazy.
All right.
If you don't think when he don't walk in that school, they don't show him love, you crazy.
All right.
But
And that's how it should be all around.
Exactly, but it don't happen, and I'm trying, and we're trying to bring that back.
Right. We just gotta first acknowledge why it's not happening.
Yeah.
Like, why is it? What is the reason why these people that, you know, done things, you know, for the team that they played for, why are they not getting the recognition that they deserve? Why are we not showing them, you know, the appreciation for what they've done?
That's y'all first question. We want y'all to tap in on all social medias, off the bench. Why?
Why are the athletes not getting the proper recognition they deserve?
In their own city, at their own homes. Like, why? We want to hear from y'all. Make sure y'all tap in. Off the bench. OTB last play.
Yes, sir. On all social media platforms.
Let
Instagram,
us
TikTok, Facebook,
Also,
Snapchat.
we want everybody to know, any local artist that's interested in making our theme song, please reach out to us. We want to make sure that the city is heard, and we want one of y'all to be the ones they hear every time they hear our voice.
Yes, sir. Put us on.
So make sure y'all reach out. We interested. We got a show for y'all next week, though. The
Big
next
show for
one
y'all.
is epic. We got two of probably generational talent. And when I say generational talent, I mean the stuff they did is still sitting in record books. The stuff they did, people still talk about it. When they walk into a room, people still look at them and be like, yeah, he was that guy. And we're going to get to sit down and talk to them, politic with them. They have some stories for us that they said never been heard. So you got to make sure you tap in. We got Chedrick Cherry, Moeller's finest, coming on the show. He is also coaching. His son's next up, the Coleraine Cardinals. Make sure y'all check them out. I'll make sure y'all get more details on that so y'all can pull up to the games, because he is next in line.
And we also have Everett Horn, North College Hill's finest, coming to speak on the show with us. And he's also coaching the Cincy Bucks, am I right?
The North College Hill Buccaneers.
North College Hill Bucks.
Yeah, next up too. They are, man, both of these guys are coaching sons that are following in their footsteps, and who else would you want to coach you than the Pops that's already been there and done that, right? So make sure y'all tap in with us. Off the bench, last play. All right, if you got what it takes, they're going to give you the ball. But just remember, we from where you from.
So come holler at us, man. Come sit down and politic with us. We talk about nothing but the realest on here. Nothing is off limits. So hop on this Off the Bench podcast. The last play, we're going to get it popping.
Chedrick, Cherry, Everett, Horn. If you don't know, now you do. Look them up. Legend.